Hi there, my name is Alan Neil Campbell. Welcome back to the Riverbend podcast. With me today, a very special guest,
I'm Marika. I'm a host at Alt 94.3.
Marika. I'm going to be going through over some questions and stuff, but I'm going to try and make it as normal as possible as it can be, while I'm very nervous as well. So, how long have you been an on-air personality?
About 10 years I've been doing this for. Yeah, I started doing the on-air side of radio when I was 21 years old.
What were you doing previously?
I was a producer and an audio engineer. Because I was fresh into radio, though, I wasn't getting paid that much. So I also did Foley and ran audio for plays in the city of Edmonton.
What does a typical day look like you as a morning host?
That's a great question. It changes day to day because the world of radio is very inconsistent. Usually, if we were to start at like the beginning of the day for me, I wake up pretty early. I have it down to a science of getting ready in 20 minutes now and eating breakfast in the car and getting to work. And then I've always done prep the night before, but I do a little bit in the morning because when you go to bed early, you miss half the news that happens. So we refine everything the hour before the show starts. And I like to write out and know all of my content before I go on air. But that's not everybody's style, and that's okay. And that way I come in prepared with multiple things in case something changes and I have to switch something on the fly. And we go through doing the show. Our show goes live until 10 a.m. Then from there, we do something that we call voice tracking. So this is where you can go in on a cart, as we call them in radio, which is like an empty thing that you can insert audio into yourself. So we pre-record tracks that run until noon. And then I also do shows in Calgary and Vancouver, which I feel guilty about because syndication is kind of killing radio. But so then afterwards, I do a show for them. It's day of, so it's a little bit more topical because then I'm taking news that happened the day before or from that morning and presenting it on air at those stations. But I'm able to record it in Winnipeg, send it off to those provinces. And then usually I'm home by noon if I don't have any interviews of bands. Like we had one today, so I was at work later. And then, yeah, by the time 6 p.m. hits, I'm prepping for the next day. And then afterwards, get me ready for bed. Do I have a life? No.
Well, I mean, you have the weekends sometimes.
Nice. Yes, yeah. We do remote sometimes.
Mhm.
So, yeah.
Ooh, going back to that, you say your breakfast. What do you have for breakfast?
So I used to do oatmeal. And then out of nowhere, it started giving me heartburn. And that really things up for me because oatmeal was like my go-to. So now I'm a bran flakes girl. Bran flakes.
You mentioned something about going live from 7 to 10. I didn't know that. And then you do some voiceovers from 10 to 12.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I thought you were live that whole time.
That means I'm doing my job well. It's just like I'm live that whole time. Yeah.
So from 10 to 12, you do like basically what you do on remotes.
Kind of, yeah. They're like, we call them like quips or inserts. So instead of bantering with a co-host, we kind of take turns doing little solo things. And the point of it is to either be music related or as local as possible, but make sure you're getting information across no longer than 30 seconds. You know, this is meant to be during the time of day when, you know, people aren't, they're not listening as hard. They just want to hear like a friendly voice that says some really cool information, and then we get back to the music as soon as we can. So, yeah.
From that 7 to 10 range, 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. range, do you find it difficult being like live on the air where you can mess up easily?
Yeah, you know, it can get in your head. I think when I first started, it was like terrifying, and sometimes I would cheat and record my breaks ahead of time and then play them as if I was doing it live because I was such a perfectionist and I didn't want to mess up. And there's going to be people out there who would love for the person they hear on air to sound like a robot and never make mistakes. And I think those people are weird because it's kind of nice to actually hear that a human is a human. So that's what I remind myself of when I do make mistakes. I'm like, well, you know what? I've also been on the phone with like a person from Shaw before, and they've also said a word incorrectly, but I don't hold it against them because they're just a person. So, yeah.
So right after you're done your shift at the station, you have a couple hours of downtime, and then you have to prepare for the next day. Uh, how long does it take for you to like wind down, get home, and then go back straight to work?
Oh, yeah, it's tough. If I'm being honest, especially during the summer, there's some days where I push it as long as I can, and I just like wait until I'm about to go to bed, and then I'm like, well, I guess I should probably do some prep. It's not so hard anymore. If I have like a day where like somebody sent in a really mean text, or like I have like said something really idiotic on air, it can be hard to leave that behind. And so, um, sometimes I do what I call car time, where like when I get home before I like enter, because I have pets and like I don't want to bring a bad energy to them, right? So I just like sit in my car and scroll on TikTok, or I just like, send a voicemail to like my friends, just be like, oh man, guys, I said the stupidest thing on air today. And then I feel better. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I go inside.
Have you ever taken a nap after work in your car because you were so tired?
Gosh, actually, yeah. No, I have before remotes. There's been times when I've been like scheduled for a weekday remote, and I'm like, okay, power nap. We're gonna do it in a parking lot, and I feel like thankfully it's like not uncommon to see people napping in cars in parking lots in Winnipeg. So I sit right in.
Just hope that the car's not on, actually.
Yes. I mean, some do, but
How do you guys do the remote straight after your shift? Because you're from 7, and then let's say you have a remote at like 4 or like 2.
yeah.
Long day.
Honestly, the ones that happen earlier are easier because you can sometimes like keep the adrenaline going. And then the ones where you've got a bit more of time in between, if you manage to nap, then it's great. If you don't, and it's just like, um, it can be tough, and it's nowhere near equivalent to people who are like doing marathons, because that's different. But I would imagine like that same feeling that you have doing sports or biking or running when you're like, man, I'm feeling a cramp coming on, but you're like, I just got to push through this, then I know I can do it. And then when you push through it, you're like, oh, I could actually run for miles. You can do that with hosting and with like forcing yourself to be more extroverted and socializing with people. And it is more tough when you've got a smaller social battery, but like you almost learn how to tap into that sometimes.
Do you have any starting rituals to start your day? Do you do any like yoga or like some tai chi or something?
I don't do that. I do regularly throughout the show take like little like laps and like walk breaks or like stretch breaks or things like that, because I feel like it like keeps me a little bit more there if I'm doing that. I do before bed though sometimes listen to a man with a really nice Australian accent tell me positive affirmations about myself.
You find them on YouTube or
I
something?
did, yeah. I found it to go on YouTube because some of them are a little bit too like business bro sounding, and I'm like, no, I don't need to manifest money. I need to manifest that like I actually like myself. So help me out here for a bit.
Yeah, I usually like standing and walking around when doing my work because sitting down, I actually fall asleep on chairs. It's for that.
Yeah.
So by actually standing up and walking around or having a standing desk, it's really better for me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
honestly, right? I'm amazed there aren't like in more studios and stuff like that.
Yeah. How do you keep informed on the latest news constantly and prepare for potential interviews?
For local news and music news, local news, I mean, we obviously have like a lot of sources that we can see. Like CBC Manitoba is my personal favorite because I really like how in touch they seem to be with the city, but like CTV is great as well. And then I've also just found like I know there's a lot of people on radio that are kind of would I shouldn't say a lot of people on radio. I think maybe there's some people who don't like influencers as much, but I love influencers because I feel like we have people that are younger than me in the city who are out and about experiencing things that I'm not, especially because of the hours that I work.
Mhm.
And I think it's great because then I find out about all this stuff that I wouldn't have known about. So yeah, I'm just like, anytime I see someone who posts stuff about Winnipeg, I'm like, yeah, I'm going to follow you and I'm going to find out what's happening. So
Do you think of yourself as an influencer?
no. No.
How come? Because you are an on-air talent, so you do have some like reach to some people.
You know what? Potentially, yeah. I think maybe influencers are allowed to be a little less neutral. And I think being an on-air personality, you've NDA'd and like signed your life away to, being as politically neutral as possible. So it's a little bit harder to maybe allow the things you would morally like to have influence on come out on a show.
You can't show or pick sides.
No,
basically.
No, what you can do, I will say this, what you can do is say, my station is alternative. There are certain bands we play that are very outspoken, and I can say this band we play said this and play an audio clip. But I'm not saying my stance on it. I'm just presenting information. Yeah.
So how does one pursue a career in radio? Like, what schooling or background do you need?
Great question. You actually don't need to go to school if you don't want to. There's a lot of people I know that just started in high school doing like street team work and just like working their way up. And that's one way that you can do it. I went to NATE in Alberta, which I think is kind of like the equivalent of RRC's program-ish. Probably has changed since then.
What does NATE stand for?
Northern Alberta Institute of Technology. So it's a trade school. And when I went there, it's probably different now. It was journalism, TV, and radio. So in our first year, we had to learn all three. And then in the second year, you kind of choose which path you want to go into.
Oh, yeah, it's very similar to True Content.
Yeah. So it's pretty much like that. And so that's what I did. And then just interned and worked on the side. But I'm quite sure that, if you just like were really passionate about something and, maybe even had like Bachelor of Arts or had gone to a different school, you could still probably pursue a career in radio.
Yeah. I know someone that works for Pattison that got the job randomly from someone that they met. I won't say the name, but I think you know.
I do know. Yes, I know who you're talking about. Yeah. That's because that person is
very
enigmatic. Yes. Yeah.
You're originally not from Winnipeg. Were there any challenges when it came to coming here to Winnipeg, especially the work environment?
No, actually, and this is like not a huge knock on the previous places I worked, but this is one of the best work environments I've been in radio, which has been really nice. And I'd gone to university here, so I already knew the city. And Winnipeg is just like a little bit more aligned with what I believe in, and Manitoba as a whole. So it was a move that I was looking forward to.
When you were growing up, did you ever expect to go to Winnipeg?
Actually, yeah, it was like part of my plan for a long time. Yeah, I have like
planned that.
Well, one day I was sitting at my desk. No, I just I have a lot of like family here across the prairies, and growing up, my parents had talked so much about how much they enjoyed their time in Winnipeg. So I was just like, this sounds like a place that's more suited to me, and even during like university here, right? Like, yes, there's like different groups of people you can like wind up aligning yourself with in Winnipeg, but like I got really lucky and I'm into biking, and everybody I knew at university was into biking. And at the time, and this is like 15 years ago now, but like at the time, everybody was, excited about the new bike paths being built. So yeah, it just kind of made sense.
Going off from that, what's your favorite part of Winnipeg? Not like part, but like actual place in Winnipeg, like the North End, West End.
I live in the West End, but I don't know, you used to live in the West End, but I'm not going to say West End is my favorite, even though I do like it. I have grown to like it. I really like, what's it called? There's an area along the river, not the fancy rich person side. Do you know what I'm talking about? There's like this area you can like bike in on the other side of Assiniboine Park leading up to it. Starts with a B, something park. Bruce Park.
I don't know where that is.
Okay. Bruce Park is really nice and small. It's just like they don't have sidewalks, and so it kind of feels like you're like out in the city. And I like to bike around there and see which old people I can befriend so that, they'll adopt me and give me their house someday, because I won't be able to afford it. Yeah.
Get adopted by a millionaire, and then
exactly
once they unfortunately pass away, you're in their will, and then you have all this money, and then it's like a cycle, and then you adopt someone.
Yeah, you know what? And like maybe that's how like all this money really goes around the city in the end.
Probably.
If
you didn't become an on-air personality, what do you think you would have gone into, like work-wise?
I think about this a lot because I know that radio won't be forever. So sometimes I think about maybe going into HR. I think that could be a really fun avenue to work with. Or, um, so because I've spent so much time like just doing radio and like never actually finished a degree in anything, I think that does put me behind to a certain extent. So I feel like I could maybe do stuff like uh, working with care with like old folks homes or something like that. Yeah, I'm like taking that avenue, something where you don't need a degree, but you can do like a program afterwards. And
Yep.
yeah,
I believe those like courses are like 1 year only, or like a couple months or so.
I'll do it on the side, boy.
Yeah, I forgot the term for it, but yeah.
Great.
Let's go back to like the hard hitting question.
Yes.
The main one. Do you think radio is becoming a dying breed?
Yeah, this is a great question. They actually asked us this in order to get into college when I entered college.
Really?
Yeah, we had to write an essay on this. And I feel like my answer is still the same. And I think the answer is maybe. But I feel like there's like two paths that could happen with radio. It has lived longer than TV, which I think is impressive. And like, who knows if maybe TV might start making a comeback, like live local reporters and stuff like that, having more than just one person doing all three jobs.
Yeah.
Which is what they kind of do now. Yeah, I think there's like an avenue where there is a possibility that just like young millennials and Gen Z have gotten really into vinyl and that's made a resurgence. Like that could possibly happen with the future generation where maybe they're like, nah, like my farmer grandpa kept his like radio and I think it's the coolest thing and my friends think it's the coolest thing. So we're going to gather around here and listen to it like they used to because it's cool now, right? And that could happen. And then there's like also the avenue where radio doesn't fully die, but it just turns into a different medium because that's already happening, right? Like we're seeing way more podcasts, syndication, like something I'm involved in, right? Where like we don't have as much live hosts anymore and you're being asked to do more posting on social media and just all sorts of stuff. So it could be that well, actually, I think that is the more likely future, that we just see radio not being what the purists think of it as, or it's not traditional anymore, but it turns into something else that is just another form of a way for a consumer to consume music and information and local media.
It does suck that there's like less and less radio hosts nowadays compared to before, because I remember growing up, each station had like their key player and stuff.
Yeah.
But now it's like dwindling down slowly. The hosts are getting not older, but like
we're getting fired.
Yes.
That's what's happening. Yeah.
Which is really sad to think about. But with like streaming services and all that, like Spotify, Apple Music, do you think eventually that those streaming services will get too expensive and then people will come back to radio?
That's a great point. And I actually had never thought of that. But yeah, I mean, like we're seeing more information come out that doesn't like paint the owners of those companies in the greatest light, or musicians are coming out and taking their music off. So either a change will happen with that, they'll have to reduce prices, make things more free again, or yeah, it's going to become a little bit too monopolized. And then the answer is, what's free? Radio.
To radio.
Yeah.
But that's one of the pathways it could take, like you say.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, we don't know what the future holds.
It's still up in the air. I mean, it's lasted till now.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. And like I think maybe myself and like everybody else in radio, we all just kind of are like surprised that like every year we get to work another year. Like I'm always like, damn, I can't believe this is still going on. Like,
yes, they're a whole party every year.
Yeah, we really should be. I'm like, oh, we still all have salaries, crazy. So
if you're hearing this, or anyone hears this that works with Marika, throw a party every year now. Congratulate yourselves for working.
We're still having jobs.
Yeah. Do you think the perception of radio is dying is exaggerated?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, actually, no, I do think so. I mean, like, I think that on both sides, there's probably some people who are like also exaggerating the fact of how well it's doing. Probably because they, work in sales. Yeah. And they really want to make it. And, you can, and like this is the thing about following like the numbers of stuff, right? Whether it comes to like streaming numbers, radio numbers, like any of it, you can like pay some company enough money to give you like a very narrow range of numbers that can look good if you wanted to, right? It's just about like choosing how you look at numbers and share them to somebody. And then you can make anything look good or make it look bad if you want. So it's kind of hard to like find out where we can find information that shows us like what the actual truths about all of this are. So I think, yeah, like I bet you it is exaggerated to a certain extent. But yeah, by that same token, there's probably someone out there who's like, radio is like the greatest, latest thing, and like everybody loves it so much. But then you walk down the street and you ask somebody, hey, have you like ever heard of this station before? And they're like, oh no, I didn't even know we had radio in Winnipeg.
We have stations still?
Exactly, right? Yeah, like there truly are people who are just like not in touch with it, but like that's okay.
Going back to the sales reps, from my time there at the thing,
Yeah.
I love all of them.
Yeah.
I love everyone I worked with.
Yeah.
The guy behind me too, loved working with him. Unfortunately.
Unfortunately.
But yeah, having that work environment too was very nice. Everyone was very nice as well.
Everybody's really nice. Yeah.
This one might be going back to a previous one. What might you think is the reasons why people think that it's dying? We went over a couple, but
yeah. I mean, I think that access to streaming, and also I think one of the reasons we might be feeling like it's dying is that the position that artists are put in now when they're putting out new music is really different, because when radio was in its heyday, like in the 70s and the 80s, I don't even know if that's his heyday. I'm just guessing. I'm like, that sounds like a time.
I wasn't even born.
Me either. Not that old. I think that at that time it was like that's how you got your music out, right? It was like you sold your records and you got your song on the radio, and then you got it like play for people, and like that's kind of like how it worked according to my limited knowledge of that.
That's how they built their audience.
Yeah, that's how they built their audience. And like now, if somebody puts out music, I mean, a small artist even is probably like sliding it onto Bandcamp and then like trying to get it on Apple Music and Spotify and see those streams. And big artists as well, when they release albums, before they do it.
Hurry.
I feel like I didn't give you the proper answer.
I can't remember what we were talking about.
I don't remember it. We were talking about charts, and I'm like, I don't remember what the original question was.
Well, yes. I think I was like number one on radio charts, and then number one on streaming charts.
Yes.
And then from there,
and like, what was the original question again?
What might you think is the reasons why people think that it's dying?
Oh yeah, just because we're not going there for music anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you ever experienced anyone shaming you for working in the radio business?
Yeah, kind of. I think it's not like really forcefully. I think it's just sometimes at like, gatherings and parties, you'll like say to someone, I mean, like, if I'm being honest, I often don't lead with it. Like, if they really ask, I'm like, oh, I work in like media. And then they're like, what do you do? And I'm like, I work with audio.
Yeah, I'm on audio actually.
I'm on audio and music.
Yeah.
So I'm like, really, there shouldn't be shame behind it. But like, I think for a while there, I did feel like a lot of people younger than me just thought it really wasn't cool.
That's lame.
I know. Yeah. So
like when you think of a radio host, you think like a DJ and stuff like that.
Yeah.
They're like basically the same thing besides a turntable right in front of you.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. I had in quotes here, oh, you work in radio? Who's listening to that? Have you ever gotten that?
Yeah. That does happen a lot. Who listens anymore? Or I think the biggest thing is, people asking, well, what do you actually do? Or, oh, your job must be so easy. And you know what? Maybe for some people it would be really easy. I actually find it kind of hard sometimes, but that's just because I think I'm a perfectionist.
Yeah.
So maybe I make it hard.
When you do like your cut-ins and stuff, you have to like do multiple takes and all that.
Sometimes, if I'm doing remotes especially, when it comes to like on-air stuff, I feel like because it's so much more casual, it's different. For remotes, you've got that pressure of like a sales rep wanting you to do a really great job for their client. And sometimes a client is on your on location with you. They're watching you. They want to make sure you say every little piece of detail. And so those are the ones where you're like, man, this is a lot of pressure. And then like sometimes they'll come up to you and they're like, can I talk in it too? And like, what are you going to say to this client? Like, no, you're going to sound like but like it's like, well, okay, sure. And then they're like, it's like, well, okay.
And they take up the whole time.
Yeah, but I'm like, it's you paid for it, so
Yeah.
you do what you want. So yeah.
For those remotes that we work together, obviously I've seen like a bunch of people come up to you and you're like, oh, I love alt, I love work, I love radio, blah 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 blah. Do those interactions always make you feel better? Obviously.
They do, yeah. And I need to be better at holding on to those ones because I am pretty bad at, I could have like 10 people say really nice things to me at a remote. And then if one person says something even like slightly offhanded, that's like all I keep inside for the rest of the day. Yeah. So, but I think the longer I've been doing this, the easier it is to kind of flush it.
Do you become, I'm not going to say numb, but do you become more like, not defensive, what's the word I'm looking for? You become more, it doesn't faze you anymore?
Yeah. A term that they use in radio a lot is being ducky. I don't know if you've heard this term before. So like it's kind of an old-fashioned term, but it's cute because it refers to the fact that like ducks naturally have water repellent feathers. And so you kind of just have to let things roll off of you. You just have to like be ducky, let it happen.
I'm going to use that now.
Yes.
Use that term now.
Yeah. And you do kind of learn to be like that. And I mean, if I'm being honest, it weirdly helps when I see that like there's a lot of musicians and celebrities that have horrible things done to them online and then they still go on stage and smile. And it's like, yeah, okay.
I know this is going to be personal, but have you ever received a death threat?
I have. Yeah.
For what?
Just for existing.
People are just haters?
Yeah. Females in radio also face quite a bit of hate.
Hate and weirdness.
Hate and weirdness. Yeah. If people either want you to be something that they can be infatuated with, or if you decide to be yourself and you suddenly aren't something that they're able to easily objectify, then they hate you for going against what they want you to be. You sound too rough, you don't sound feminine enough. Where's your boyfriend? Things like that. So it's getting better. And I think especially it depends on the station you work at. The current station we work at, I don't get that, right? Because we have an audience of a little bit more open-minded people and younger people. But when I worked in rock radio early on, you got a lot of comments like that. And it was kind of weird.
It's the audience.
Yeah, I think it depends on the audience.
Yeah. Not everyone's going to listen to like all the radios.
No.
Yeah. Yeah. People pick and choose theirs.
Totally. Yeah. And I mean, to be fair, as much as it sucks, there's been a lot of studies done on the fact that a lot of people enjoy the sound of like a lower toned voice more. And so they're more tuned to, and we've seen years of just males in radio. And so a lot of people prefer that. And that just means sometimes as a woman in radio, you have to work that much harder to prove yourself to people, which is obviously unfair, but there's always going to be people that support you and are on your side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because obviously there's alt and 2X for Patterson.
Yes.
I wasn't really a country listener. Hired. I am admitting this. So if you want to fire me now, please don't. But yeah. I've gone around to listening to it. Still not my thing, but
that's okay.
I enjoy it. Do I like it? Sometimes.
Yeah. There's a few. Keith Urban's not bad.
Yeah. My favorite country song.
Yeah, you couldn't name one.
I could probably name one. It'll take a second.
That's okay.
For alt though, I love the music better, but not my favorite, in my opinion. In my opinion, though. I know it's controversial and who I'm talking to right now, but they're good. The stations are good.
Yeah.
But I don't know why I like ballads.
Hey, that's great. If you I can name 3 different stations in this city that you can listen to if you like ballads. Do you like the band Styx by any chance?
I
No?
don't know.
I thought you liked ballads.
Okay, my bad, Marika.
I thought you were a lover of that era of music. That's okay. You can look them up later.
Okay, I'll be sure to do my homework.
Yes.
Okay, and then next time I see you, I'll be sure to give you feedback and all that from them.
Do you like South Park?
Like the actual show.
The show?
Sometimes.
Okay, have you seen the episode where Cartman sings the song I'm sailing away? Okay, you have so much homework to do.
I have to watch all seasons of South Park, learn what the 6 are. What else do I need to know?
Maybe if you like ballads, just listen to more 80s music.
Okay, I got you. I love the Bee Gees.
Oh, me too. I love the Bee Gees.
I can sing most of their songs, but would I right now? No.
You don't want to do a falsetto on the spot?
No.
That's fair. Me either.
For a radio, how do you keep your audience engaged and willing to listen, though?
I mean, it depends on the style of radio. The station that I worked at for about 6 years that brought me here, which was very controversial in Winnipeg, and it did not work here. But it worked really well in Edmonton.
Can you name drop? Or
I don't know if I can actually. Anyways,
it's in the past.
in the past. Yeah, that was a more like conversational talk radio style. There's a lot of talk involved with that, and so that was all about getting people on the phone as much as you can. And sometimes the questions that we asked were intriguing. I had really great stories. Sometimes there's kind of stupid, but and as much as I know there's a lot of people, like a lot of teachers, like even when I was going to school before I worked for that station, a lot of my instructors like hated that station because it was not traditional radio. It wasn't based in music. It was just like based in like weird conversation. What I will say is that style of station was really, really kind to people who didn't have anybody else. And there was something really beautiful about having like literally hundreds of regulars who wanted to talk to you every day, who wanted to check in with you, who wanted to share about their life with you. And we got to be like those people for them when they were going through tough times. They would call and talk with us. And yeah, people can hate on that, but I found a beauty in being able to engage with those people. And maybe most of my job wasn't talking with them on air, it was talking with them behind the scenes. But it was kind of nice being like, you know what, this person doesn't have a lot of other people in their life, but they found a family here. So yeah.
It does feel good to have like the audience that keeps coming back and wanting to talk.
It does.
Yeah.
It's interesting now that we're doing a style of radio that is more info based, like music info plus just listening to more music. We aren't asking people to text in anymore, but what's cool is that they still do, and you know, they still kind of want to engage to a certain extent. So that's kind of nice.
Because I was doing socials for Alt and QX. Seeing all these like comments and stuff, the messages from people was like actually super nice.
Yeah.
People like love you guys, and my phone blows up because of it.
Oh, no.
People ask for like for some songs to be played, and I'm like, yeah, that's someone else's problem. That's not my problem. Or that's not my role.
Yeah, fair.
So to wrap it back around, what is the most heartwarming experience or feedback you've gotten when it comes to listeners?
Oh, I think it's hard to choose. Not that I've like had a crazy amount or anything, but like I think I think one of the nicest things that has happened for me is a lot of people that used to listen to me in Edmonton followed me when I moved to Winnipeg and would tune in from Edmonton, which is like really nice.
They can get the frequency
on the app. They have the
right.
app. Yeah. So they would stream the station and listen, and then even when we switched to being alt, they kept listening in and texting, and that was really nice. And then when I started doing the show in Vancouver, some people that used to live in Winnipeg who had moved there started listening, and one of them made a really sweet Reddit post about me, and it got all these really nice comments, which this is the first time this has happened to me. Every other time I've seen my name on Reddit, it's been really horrible comments,
Really?
which have like gutted me. And so when I first got sent this link, I was like, oh, I don't want to go down this road again. I am going to feel horrible if I open this. But they were like, there's some really nice things being said about you. And yeah, it was like really nice to see that there's a group of people in Vancouver, not even in Winnipeg, but Vancouver, who really genuinely like stuff that I was putting a lot of effort into. And that made me feel really good.
So did you save like a screenshot of it, or do you have it saved on like anywhere?
On my work computer.
Yeah. I would totally say that and be like,
Yeah.
I did that.
On a bad day. Yeah.
Any advice you would give to someone who might think of going down this career path, or anything you want to bring up that we didn't discuss?
Oh, great questions. I think if somebody wants to go into radio, they still should do it. I think obviously it's like very transparent that like it could not be what you think it's going to be because it's changing right now, and it might be harder to get in at the moment because it really used to be that you would, start in small towns and move around and work your way up. But like, yeah, there's not as many jobs as there used to be, but it's still worth getting into. It's definitely worth being a jack of all trades and being someone that can do promotions, that can do copywriting, that can do producing and help. Like social media is huge right now, and that would really, really help you out. I think that's the advice that I would give. But to just like go for it, because like, I don't know, don't spend your time trying to find a job that is like secure. Find a job that you're gonna have fun with, and then if you get fired, whatever. We give a because everybody gets fired all the time. Just do what you want to do and have fun while you're doing it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
One final thing. When I say the word radio, what's the first word that pops in your mind to end this off?
Oh, it's the first word that
Yeah.
pops into my mind.
Radio.
Stereo, which is stupid.
Radio stereo.
Radio stereo.
Got it.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Marika, for joining us today on the Riverbend podcast.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Where can people find you on like social media or listen to you actually?
Our frequency is Alt 94.3. If you want to listen, we also have the Alt 94 app that you can download if you want to stream me in Vancouver. I'm on 102.7 The Peak if you want to hear me in Calgary. That show is different. That's a family-friendly show. So the different side of me.
You have to talk all happy.
Yeah, it's a different version of me. It's kind of fun. That's 101.5 Today Radio. And my Instagram is Eureka under hyphen, whatever that one thing's called. Underscore, thank you. Marika. Eureka, it's Marika.
Eureka underscore, it's Marika.
Wait, sorry. Eureka underscore, it's underscore Marika. But if you just type in Marika, there's not a lot of Marikas, so.
They'll probably find it.
You'll find me.
Yeah. Well, thank you again for coming on to the podcast. I really appreciate it for taking time out of your day.
I really appreciate you doing all the work that you did this summer with me. You really helped us out.
Yeah. I that guy behind me.
Edison, yay!
I thank him too for being there with me.
Yeah.
Well, thank you everyone for listening in and watching the Riverbend podcast. My name is Alan Leo Capo. See you later. Bye.